Hi, it's Eric from Real World Readiness. Today we're going to talk about wildfire. I live in western Montana, so wildfire is a big part of our life out here. When summer comes around, it's fire season. Smoke's in the air, fires are everywhere. Fires can be started by all kinds of things, and most wildfires are started by people or lightning. Now, both of those can happen pretty much anywhere at any time, so you always got to be ready and prepared. I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be. So what I'm going to do for this series is I'm going to go around my home and prepare my home for wildfire. I'm going to bring you guys along with me, and we're going to do that together, and hopefully we'll all learn something. We'll all come out the other end a little more ready for the summer. Like I said, wildfires come up fast. They're quick. They can move as fast as a car, 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. They make their own windstorms. They can happen anywhere lightning can strike. Because of that, you might have to evacuate for a wildfire and leave your home behind and hope for the best. So what we're going to try and do is provide the best chance possible for the firefighters to save that home, and preparing it, building defensible space, and being as smart as we can before the fire hits. We're also going to talk about, in a later video, we'll talk about evacuation as well, because again, wildfire can come up so fast that you may have to grab what you got and go and scoot, and you're gone. First thing we're going to do, this is just the first episode. There's going to be several episodes in this series because it's just too much for one video. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at some online resources. Now, the ones I'm going to show you are from the state of Montana, the Department of Natural Resources wildfire prevention page, and also mtfire.org. The information in them is not specific to Montana. It's applicable anywhere where you might be. And also, you can probably find similar pages from your own state. So go ahead and take a look around for those. I'll put the links to these ones down below in the description. All right, let's see what we got online. All right, this is the Montana DNRC, Department of Natural Resources Conservation Wildfire Preparedness page. Every one of these subsections has more information in it. You can keep on drilling down and get so much useful information off this page. Your state probably has one like it, but I'll put the link to this one down below in the description. It's going to be useful information all across the country, anywhere that you find wildfires. This is mtfire.org. This one has a lot of practical, useful, actionable, practical application information on it. One of the things we'll start with is this chart showing the immediate, intermediate, and extended zone from the house. It's going to show what you need to do in those areas to mitigate the risk to your house from a wildfire passing through. It also has the link to get a wildland firefighter to come out and look at your property, which I went ahead and requested that. They'll be here next week or the week after, I forget which. And when that's done, we'll get that put together in a video for you, and we will start getting this place knocked into shape and make it a little safer for the summer and get our preparedness where I'd like it to be. Okay, let's do a walk around of my place. The first zone is the intermediate zone, 0 to 5 feet from the house. And in this zone, you need to make sure that there's no openings into your roof, cover your vents. Make sure that for a 3 to 5 foot area from the house, there's a non-combustible perimeter, not vegetation, gravel, that kind of thing. Make sure there's no vegetation growing within 3 to 5 feet of the house. And make sure your propane tanks are more than 30 feet from the house. So basically 0 to 5 feet, your immediate zone. You're just trying to keep all the combustibles that are right up against your house away from your house, so that there's nothing to catch your house directly on fire. The next zone is called the intermediate zone, and it's between 5 and 30 feet from the structure. In that zone, you're going to want to keep any grass and lawns watered and mowed, so you don't have a lot of tinder for sparks to catch. You want 18 inches between shrubs and bushes, and also you want to limb your trees to about 10 feet off the ground, so there's no tree limbs within 10 feet of the ground. Also, you want to make sure there's no tree limbs within 10 feet of the house. This information all comes from those websites we just talked about a minute ago. So that's your intermediate zone, 5 to 30 feet from the house. Finally, your third zone is 30 to 100 feet from the residence. This is called the extended zone, and you're just kind of getting the big fire hazards out of the way here a little bit. You want to remove the small trees that are between the big ones, because they can light up from grass fire and then light the big tree up. You want to keep your grass, vegetation, and miscellaneous plants in that zone below 8 inches tall. And also you want to check your driveway and make sure that there's room for emergency vehicles to come up your driveway. I know mine's fine. I got a big old wide driveway. All right, let's take a little walk around the house itself and see if we can see some things right out the gate that I'm gonna need to get working on. Please be gentle with me. We're just getting out of winter here in Montana. I have not done my spring cleanup yet, so it's a little work needs to be done just on cleanliness. But let's not look at that. Let's look at the fire prep information right now. Let's see what we got waiting for us to get this house ready for wildfire season. So here's the front of the house. Looking at the immediate zone, I can see that this landscaping box here is going to need to be rearranged. Obviously I got pine needles in it. This evergreen shrub right here is definitely trouble laying up against my wood siding like that. With wood siding, that's a weakness in and of itself, but I don't know what to do about it other than keep a good varnish on it like that. I do have a metal roof, which is a huge advantage in a wildfire. Embers start most structure fires in wildfires, is what I read online. Also, my intermediate zone, I have a wooden deck. This is also of concern to me. I can see that I'm going to need to put some kind of screening around the bottom of the deck to keep embers out from underneath of it. And I need to do something to treat the deck itself, because if that deck were to catch fire from an ember, well, it'd just light the rest of the house up pretty quick too. I also have some construction debris from a project last fall over here. That's going to go in a trailer and get up away from the house and rake up all these needles. That's going to get my intermediate or my immediate zone pretty well done. A little bit of cleanup, a little bit of pine needles need to come off the ground. Get out into the intermediate zone. These bushes here and this little tree here, I'd prefer not to take him. We'll see what the firefighters say, but that little tree may have to go, and I'm probably going to have to clean out these bushes. These are serviceberry bushes, and I like them for the berries, but they are right at the base of this big old fir, and that big old fir is right next to the house. So this is probably an area that's going to need to be cleared out as well. Coming on around in the back, there's another deck. We'll look at that. And then for our extended zone, we're not looking too bad out here. I've got a little bit of grass. I've got some trees that I need to knock some limbs off of. They're a little too low. Might take this little tree right here out. Again, I don't really want to take any more trees than I have to, but this one here is kind of small and might need to go. I'll ask the Department of Natural Resources when they come out about that one as well. But really, my extended zone out here is not doing terrible. So we got that going. Let's go around to the back of the house and see what we find back there. I do have another big deck here, which is going to need some attention given to it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I think there may be some kind of fire retardant you can put on it. I'm hoping to get some good info from DNRC on that as well. This shrub here is almost certainly going to have to go. It's in the immediate zone and is definitely a fire hazard next to the house. But the rest of this back here looks pretty good. I might want to grub out some of this grass and make sure that the first 3 or 4 feet isn't burnable, and these pine needles all need to get raked up. That gate, Siggy, the safety Akita, is very good at climbing fences and get out of the dog yard through that gate. So that was a temporary measure. I need to make a permanent measure that doesn't involve wood tied up right next to the house. So that'll be a project. If we get out into the intermediate zone, I've got a few shrubs, but they're pretty small and they might be all right. More service berries back there that might have to go. And these trees are limbed out pretty good. These branches over here come down near the roof. I might want to take that one out somehow. But most of these trees are already limbed up pretty high. I've got a few more shrubs, but they're not close together. Might want to cut this one back a little bit. But really, my intermediate zone is looking pretty good too. My propane tank, well, hey, little fella. Oh, there he goes. My propane tank is way back there by the outbuildings, so I'm not too worried about that. As far as the extended zone in the back of the house, again, looking pretty good. I've got a few shrubs. I might want to take some of these branches up a little higher on some of these trees, but that wouldn't be a bad thing anyways, because it kind of makes the yard a little more open and usable for us and our Readiness Akitas. So a little bit of work in the extended zone, but not really a whole lot. Overall, the back of the house is looking pretty good. I think I'll have a lot less work back here than I do up front. One thing that you need to be concerned with is your under your eaves and what they call the soffits at the end of your roof. I'm in good shape with mine. I have vents that are covered, and my soffits have boards and wood on them. There's no way to get into the attic. One of the main ways structures are lost in wildland fires is embers getting inside the attic through uncovered vents or open ends in the soffits. But we're looking pretty good on this one. I don't think I'll have any work in that department. That's it for the first episode in this series. I'm hoping this is going to be a good series for everybody. We're all going to learn a lot. I'm really excited about getting my place a little more ready and getting this crossed off my list of things I need to do for the safety and readiness of my own homestead here. Next step is the DNRC firefighters come out to do their inspection. I will do a video as soon as I can after that with the results of that, and we'll start getting some of these tasks knocked out, and hopefully over another probably 2, possibly 3 videos, but maybe not that many, we'll see. We're going to go ahead and show you the after images of the house and what I've done to make the house more fire resistant, more resilient, because again, like I said, being in western Montana, wildfire is a pretty serious concern around here. All right, that's it for now. I will talk to you next time. Excited to go on this project with you. Until then,
stay safe, stay ready.